Good morning, students. We are going to discuss the graphs for sine inverse sin x, cos inverse cos x, tan inverse tan x, cot inverse cot x, sec inverse sec x, cosec inverse cosec x. So in that line, first of all, let me just start with the sine inverse sin x. One thing is this part you ignore, that is the problem related to the inverse trigonometric function. That is not the part of this particular thing. Now what we have done is we have started with y is equal to sine inverse of sine x. Now you people are familiar with this particular fact that sine inverse function is defined if x, that is over here in place of x we have sin x. So sin x is lying between -1 to +1. Alright, including -1 and +1. Alright, now what we are doing is we are operating sine inverse function throughout, so that this becomes sine inverse of sin x, this becomes sine inverse of -1, sine inverse of 1. Now as you know that sine inverse function is always an increasing function. In order to explain you, I have drawn the diagram for the sine inverse function, which is this one, and if any point of this particular graph of the sine inverse, if you draw a tangent, it will form with x-axis an acute angle. Over here if you draw a tangent, it will again form an acute angle at this point. So we can conclude that the sine inverse function is nothing but it is an increasing function. That means as the value of angle increases, the value of sine inverse function also, the value of this -1 to 1 increases, then the value of the angle related to those values will also be increasing. So that is why I have written sine inverse -1 less than or equal to sine inverse sin x less than or equal to sine inverse 1. This particular value is represented as -π/2 and this one is represented as π/2. So finally y is greater than or equal to -π/2 to π/2. In nutshell, you can say that this sign of inequality will not reverse. Had it been a decreasing function, then we would have taken this one as -π/2 greater than or equal to, and this one greater than or equal to π/2. So that is not the case. So we can say that the domain of y is equal to sine inverse of sine x is capital R, and its range is from -π/2 to π/2. I think till this point it is clear to all of you. Now what we have done is y is equal to sine inverse sine x, and once again if you operate sine function throughout this one, then this becomes sine y and this becomes sine x, and using the trigonometric equations which you have learnt in class 11, this whole thing can be written as y is equal to n pi plus -1 to the power n x. Now one by one, if you keep on taking n is equal to 0, 1, 2, -1, -2, then when you are putting n is equal to 0 in this one, then this becomes y is equal to x. That is the first relation. Similarly, if you take n is equal to 1, then it becomes y is equal to pi minus x. Same thing, n is equal to 2, y is equal to 2 pi plus x. N is equal to -1, then y is equal to minus pi minus x, and so on. Now all these are represented over here, as you see, between -π/2 to -π/2, and this what we have derived from here, that the range is nothing but -π/2 to π/2. That is why on the y-axis we have taken π/2 to -π/2, and on the x-axis capital R, that is the real number, is taken. More precisely, starting with -π/2 to π/2, this straight line will be represented as y is equal to x, from pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2, this line will be represented as y is equal to pi minus x. As you see, this angle is 145 degree and this angle is 135. So the slope of this straight line is negative 1. That is why it is taken as pi minus x. If you put x is equal to pi, then this point will represent 0. Same way over here, if you take this angle is 45 degree, so the slope of this straight line is x, and if you put x is equal to 2 pi, then this becomes 0. So the equation of this straight line is minus 2 pi plus x, and so on in this side also. Alright, now what is the use of this particular graph? I have explained you over here. Say for example, if you have to find the sine inverse sine 1, then it is, as you see, pi by 2 tentative approximate value is 1.57. So 1 will be lying between 0 to 1.57, that is pi by 2. And from here, if you draw a straight line in upward direction, then it will cut this straight line, which is y is equal to x. So the value of this particular thing will be equal to 1 only. Now if you consider sine inverse sine 2, then you see that 2 is greater than 1.57 and less than 3.14. So it is lying in between over here. So what will happen from here, if you draw a straight line, then it cuts this straight line. So we have to consider y is equal to pi minus x. In place of x you can write 2. Same thing, if you consider 3, then it will be lying in this straight line. So once again you can say this sine inverse sine 3 is equal to pi minus 3, which is what I have written here, pi minus 3. Now if you talk about this sine inverse sine 5, then from 5 if you drop a straight line, then it cuts this straight line, which is y is equal to minus 2 pi plus x. So in place of x we can write 5, and final value of sine inverse sine 5 is equal to minus 2 pi plus 5. Same thing happens sine inverse sine minus 1. As you see, minus 1 is lying between 0 to minus pi by 2, which is nothing but minus 1.57. That means over here, so if you draw a straight line parallel to y-axis, then it cuts this straight line y is equal to x. So finally the value of sine inverse sine minus 1 is equal to minus 1. Same thing happens with minus 2. This minus 2 is lying between minus 1.57 and minus 3.14. So if you draw a straight line like this, means parallel to y-axis, then it cuts this straight line at this point. So we have to consider sine inverse sine minus 2 as equal to minus pi minus of minus 2, that is equal to plus 2. Same thing happens with minus 3 and minus 5. You can understand it is written over here. I hope the use of this one and how to plot this particular graph you have understood, and this is very useful for these type of sums where you have to calculate the sine inverse sine of any value. Alright, okay, thank you.